State Police said they have granted a permit for the Democratic Party to hold a rally in the form of a march from the Prime Ministry to the Parliament from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m, for which they will deploy more than 1,200 officers. President Ilir Meta explained that the true election date is 13 October and that Albanian citizens will be able to vote also for the Albanian Parliament and the President of the Republic. The interviewing process for candidates for the new Special Anti-Corruption Prosecution began today, with 4 applicants, prosecutors Altun Dumani, Anton Martini, Arben Kraya and Anita Yela, all appearing before the High Council of the Prosecution. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, the 8th of July, 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to RTV Ora's English edition. My name is Alexandra, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. The opposition has requested a 4-hour-long permit from the police for the July 8th protest. The State Police said the Democratic Party has requested permission to hold a rally in the form of a march from the Prime Ministry to the Parliament between the hours of 8 p.m. and midnight. However, police sources said the permit was granted only for 2 hours from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is the 10th opposition protest against the government since their withdrawal from their mandates last February. In addition to giving the permit for the reduced period of 2 hours, police have also begun planning security measures for the conduct of the rally. More than 1,200 police effectives are expected to be deployed to the Prime Ministry, Parliament, Assembly and Ministry buildings for security. A day before the protest, metal fences have been put around the Parliament building in order to provide additional security. Shortly before the parliamentary session for the dismissal of President Ilir Meta, the head of state provided a legal explanation regarding the situation created as a result of the June 30 election before offering his opinion as to the solution to the crisis. In this clarification, the head of state recalls that June 30 was cancelled as the date of local elections, fully based on provisions within the Constitution. This decree for the annulment of June 30, 2019 as an election day for local government bodies has not been challenged by any political force nor any other political or non-political entity before any court in the Republic of Albania, including the Electoral College, reiterated Meta. The President notes that although the Electoral College overthrew the National Unity Party's lawsuit, this decision does not affect the validity of the decree for the cancellation of June 30th. Meta also refers to the findings of the OSCE ODIHR Observer Mission, while saying things become even more complex due to a lack of constitutional court, which is the only mandated body to decide on the constitutionality of the President. Meta said that all electoral activity organised and developed by the Central Election Commission on June 30, 2019 is completely illegal, an unconstitutional voting process without any legal consequence. This is especially since June 30, 2019 does not exist legally as a date of elections for the local government bodies in the Republic of Albania. Meta notes that the President has the right to decree local elections and that this decree observes elections on October 13th. At the end of the clarification, the President issued a final message for all. Noting this clear legal situation that the June 30th elections do not exist legally and reiterating that the October 13th decree is a great opportunity to guarantee inclusive and democratic local elections, the President of the Republic asks everyone to refuse to travel further on the path of lawlessness, bias and conflict. Likewise, evaluating the crisis in representation for the country, the President of the Republic calls on all actors to join his proposal that on 13th of October, Albanian citizens should additionally vote for both the Parliament and the President of the Republic. It's time to restore sovereignty to all the citizens of Albania, concluded the President. Voltana Ademi has made it clear that her position is that the duty of Mayor of Shkodra can only be handed over to internationals and not to the socialists elected from the June 30th voting. In a letter to the United States and European Union embassies in our country, she calls for the establishment of an international administrative commission to govern the Albanian municipalities under real elections can be held. Ademi says she cannot leave the city in the hands of a man chosen by only 8% of the vote, in what she calls a dictatorship of the minority. Today, in 2019, we cannot give this responsibility to the Prime Minister or his 8% nominee. In the years 1913 to 1914 and 1918 to 1920, this city of vital importance to the whole nation was governed by international commissions of great powers. And maybe it is time again, and not just for Shkodra. According to Ademi, after the June 30 elections, local government in Albania risks simply becoming a central government reptile. So in the capacity of the Mayor of the Association of Municipalities, she invites the international factor to the table in the hope that they will become the guarantor of the civic will. This situation will eliminate political pluralism, and not only in the executive direction of 6 of the municipalities with 61 mayors. The situation brings 61 municipal councils, which in all cases will not represent citizens. They will function without constructive disagreement or opposition, added Mayor Ademi. The opposition did not attend the June 30 voting, while declaring that it enforces the President's decree that annulled the process for local elections. Under these conditions, the Socialist Party won all 61 municipalities. The US and the EU both declared their position that the vote should be conducted on June 30. The High Council of the Prosecution started the process of interviewing the 23 remaining candidates for the Special Anti-Corruption and Organised Crime Structure, or SPAC, today. The High Council of the Prosecution commenced hearings with the first 4 candidates, respectively Altin Dumani, the head of Serious Crimes Appeals Court, Anita Yela, the prosecutor from Durrës, Anton Martini, a prosecutor of serious crimes, and prosecutor Arben Kraya. The process will continue until July 12th. After the hearing, the head of the High Council of the Prosecution, Gent Ibrahimi, explained why they were not open to the media, as had been announced earlier. There was a misunderstanding about the first statement. Interviews are recorded with audio and video, but not made available to the public, said Gent Ibrahimi. Given that, of the 4 candidates interviewed today, only the prosecutor, Arben Kraya, has successfully passed the vetting process, Ibrahimi did not exclude the possibility of a collision between the 2 processes. Both foreign and Albanian tourists are complaining that the services offered along the Albanian coast do not justify such high prices. Tourism Association representative Zak Topuzi expressed concern that the qualified staff have already emigrated, leading to a less than ideal situation for the tourism industry here. This is possibly why Albanians are increasingly preferring to travel abroad to spend their holidays. Furthermore, road infrastructure has, for years, continued to be a problem, while the political crisis is another fact that is assumed to be affecting the arrival of foreign tourists this summer. The law on social assistance will have changes. In the draft proposed by the Health Commission, Minister Ogerta Manistiriu announced that the ceiling of 80,000 lek will be removed, bringing the possibility to increase the amount of economic aid to families in need and families with many children. During the presentation of the new social assistance draft law at the Health Committee, Health Minister Ogerta Manistiriu said that the approval of the list of beneficiaries will not be made by the municipal councils. This draft law did face some objections from stakeholders, at least over the removal of the payment to persons with disabilities after 48 months of engaging in ongoing work. The draft law also provides reasons a family may be excluded from the scheme, allowing benefit of economic assistance for 6 months to 1 year, such as false declaration or rejection of suitable work. Returning from the beach yesterday was an extremely tiring experience for thousands of vacationers who were enjoying Albania's southern coast. Extremely heavy traffic resulted in significant slowdowns that saw drivers suffering for hours. In Vlora, the situation was particularly intense at the Uiftot area near the tunnel and the access from Radima in Dukat. Not only is this stretch notorious for being incapable of withstanding a high flow of vehicles, but the situation was worsened by the involvement of a bus in an accident. Luckily, no one was injured by the incident. However, it did block the lane and place a significant additional burden on traffic. Citizens detailed that it took more than 3 hours to travel a 25-kilometre stretch of road. The same problem was encountered in the early hours of Sunday morning as thousands of vehicles headed towards the southern beaches. Vlora Road Police were out in force, but were faced with a difficult situation that took time to resolve. Furthermore, thousands of Kosovars who chose to spend their weekend in the southern beaches faced long queues as they returned. The traffic started all the way back at the entrance of Kukas and continued to the Marina Customs Point. About 30,000 Kosovars are estimated to have spent Sunday on Albanian beaches. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of RTV Ora, thank you and good night.